3 years ago, we bought a 1930s bungalow in the middle of Cardiff, and we've been renovating ever since. We've had a little break from posting over the last few months as we celebrated our daughter turning 1, but now we're back to show you how the inside of the property is coming along. I'm currently on maternity leave, so we've had to keep things budget friendly. So today, let's see how we've transformed our master bedroom.
This is going to be our master bedroom. We're going to be staying in this room. The room we're currently staying in is going to be the baby's room, so we want to get in here as soon as possible so she can have her own bedroom. We actually had this room plastered. All the walls bar this side of the room has been plastered. All the external walls are insulated plasterboard and skimmed, and we've done one mist coat and one solid white coat. We're going to utilise these alcoves as our wardrobes. We've actually bought a system from IKEA to put on the wall directly, and then it's going to save us a lot of space and a lot of making framing. We're not sure if we're going to have normal wardrobe doors or sliding doors. In the middle we're going to have a bit of a media wall area and possibly a makeup area for Natasha, but that's all sort of in the air at the moment. We're just going to do a bit at a time until it's all finished. The first thing we want to do is get the base of the wardrobes in and built as sort of a plinth to allow the skirting to go right across the front. The reason we want to do this is we want to get the carpet in as soon as possible. So to get the base in, I'm going to cut away the bottom of this back burner, and I'm going to be building a frame out of scrap MDF and plywood. It doesn't have to be structural, it's not going to have anyone walking on it. It just needs to be pretty and a bit of a shelf really. When we first bought this property, we used this front bedroom as a storage room. The time eventually came when we had to dig the floors up, which started off by removing the parquet flooring. The reason we had to dig the floors up is because we didn't have a damp-proof membrane, and at the same time we thought we'd add new insulation, concrete and screed with underfloor heating. We prepared our plinth out of the MDF ready for the bottom of our wardrobes. I then scraped back the walls, we've rubbed them down and given them a couple of coats of paint. The reason we painted the back of these walls is because we're going to go with a slightly different wardrobe idea than originally. We're just going to have 2 panels coming off the chimney breast to create the depth of the wardrobe. And we've actually bought this system from IKEA. It's just a rail system with brackets, and you can put shelves on and baskets which pull out, and they look quite effective and is very cheap compared to actually building proper built-in wardrobes. This is what the base of our wardrobe is looking like at the moment, guys. This is sort of what it'll finish like when I'm going to use MDF to finish it off, but it'll sit like that, be flat all the way through, and then the skirt will sit on the front and there'll just be a little lip up into the wardrobe. You're probably wondering why I'm doing out of so many different size bits of wood. So all I'm doing is using up scrap material because Natasha's about to come off her full pay maternity after 6 months, so we're going to be a bit smart with money, try and save as much as possible, reuse as much materials as possible. I had all this green MDF left over, so built the front of the plinth, done some nice full depth support through the middle and then across here, as you can see, and then just used rips that was left over around the edge, which will just support the edge of the base. This is not going to be like structural for like standing on. You probably could stand on it, especially in the middle, but it is literally just to create a little shelf to stick shoes and whatever on. This middle section here, all I've done is pinned in the MDF where it needs to go, pilot, screw so it's nice and strong, and then this is going to sit in like so. You can get it just to sit in nicely. Snug, lovely. Just, I'll sit flush with that. And then I'll have a piece of MDF going across there. So once I screw this into the front, that's screwed in the back. I'm going to put a load of foam down the back of there, a couple of fixings into the concrete, and that'll stop any movement back and forth. Once that's done, I can then put all my carpet tacks in, and I can tuck in nicely and get all the carpet in ready. And then all I need to do is build some wardrobe doors, and that'll be it. We're getting there slowly. Now that I've done that base section, I've got it all fixed in, we're going to start putting the skirting on. I've just cut this off camera, just done my mitre down here and then scribed it, which I bisected the ankle, which is a bit harder than a normal 45-degree mitre and scribe for a 90-degree corner. And I've done the same over there, done a scribe for that corner, and then I also already had that scribe over there ready. So I'm just going to glue this one on and pin it, and then use grip fill adhesive and pin it onto that wall, and that is all the skirting in here on and done. So the plan for this afternoon is to try and get all my pelmet in and the cornice ready. Oh, crying babies. What's happening over there? So yeah, we want to try and get the pelmet in. So the base here is perfectly level. We need to get the pelmet in level, which should be pretty good because I put all the ceiling in perfectly level. So hopefully if the plaster's good, there shouldn't be any issues. So we want the doors to finish flush by here, and it's going to set back to create two layers so they slide past each other, which means then my little bulkhead has got to go up to the ceiling. Drop down the depth of our, not cornice, coving. Drop down the depth of our coving to that pencil line, and that will then continue a fake pelmet all the way across there, line up with the pencil marks up there. So that's just going to be a little fake stud wall. Take the cove in, and then I can put these rails. It's quite a simple system. You've got this rail in the pack. You get 4 of these in each pack. Do your 2 rails, and then you butt the other one opposite way so it looks like this. And then you just pilot a hole through these aluminium trims, screw them in, and that's the bottom and top. And then you've got these wheels that go on the bottom which swivel so you can adjust the height slightly. And then you also got these, I don't know what you call these, sort of like clips, but those black plastic lugs then clip up into the top rail to make it nice and snug so it doesn't fall out or drop down. So that's what I'm working out now. It's deciding my door heights, deciding my pelmet height, and just a bit of jiggery pokery to get it all right. And once I've done that, you can get the base in on this wardrobe, and then we can start looking at the right height for the doors. I've just put a laser line from the very bottom front edge of this MDF by here right up, which is going to be the front of my plinth, pelmet, sorry. And I've also made a mark on the ceiling somewhere I can reference my string line from. And I'm just going to do the same over here, where I put that corner bead. Technically, because I got everything level, I'm hoping that is perfectly plumb from bottom to top, and then I can just ping a line from that corner all the way across to that point on the ceiling, and that's my straight line for my pelmet. I've cut my rails now. I've got 3 of them, 1 there and 2 up against the wall. This is going to be my first one on the ceiling. Now, because I've put the ceiling in myself, I know there's a timber all the way across our wall there, and from that point, every 400 centres, there's a timber batten for me to screw up into. There's no cables there, so we're all good to go. So to chop all my little uprights, guys, make them all exact same length, all I've done is create a stop on the chop saw at the right depth. I just dropped the blade down like so, put a measuring tape across and made sure that line there on the timber is the exact measurement I need. So then all I can do is get my length of timber, butter it up, chop it, next piece, butter it up, chop it, and carry on like that until they're all done. That is how the rail's looking at the moment. What I gotta do now is just put some more pins in. I've only got 2. I've got 1 on the back angled to the front. I'm gonna put a few angled straight and then some straight down as well. Sorry, some angled backwards and some straight down, just to create a claw effect. Put a little bit of glue on the MDF just before I went in. Yeah, so I'll bang some more in, and that is ready to go up, ready for the bottom piece. That is the top rail and all the noggins in. All I've done there is screw down from the top to secure a patras, and then I've just glued and pinned up all the way through there to keep our line running through. Just like that. That is our little fake pelmet ready to take our cove in. So once it finishes, that's what this pelmet's going to look like. Obviously not with that big gap. I'm just going to run flush to the underside, fix the ceiling, and it's going to look all built in. So we're going to have 4 sliding wardrobe doors there, but we're going to make them out of MDF, and I'm going to rip one of these down to 95mm rips. We're going to actually just have a framed door, and we're going to have some sort of fabric on the back, and we're going to then we're going to veneer the rails in oak, just like we did the window seat. So it's going to be oak framed, maybe 3 panels to match these doors, sort of 1, 2, 3, just 2 rails in the middle, top rail and bottom rail, and hopefully I've got enough MDF. To do these wardrobes, we are putting in these end panels right here. They're far enough back to allow the doors to come past, but it sort of creates a bit of a more segregated wardrobe space. And we're going to have that the same as this side over here, and then this is going to be a bit of a media wall style, maybe a mirror or TV, we don't know. But we've been gifted these panels by a company which Natasha's going to link below. And we're going to finish the wall off in these panels to make it sort of that media wall effect, and we'll paint it to whatever colour we want. So with these end panels, I didn't even think my little bulkhead where we're going to stick the cove in is quite far back, so I've just got to take this little notch out with a 10mm clearance to allow me to swing around and get it fixed in place. Before we use this cladding to board over this wall, I want to make sure we've got some support in here. So I've just used some offcuts of timber, pinned into the mortar of the brickwork, and put some foam across the bottom and the top, just to stop it from moving. And then we've set it back far enough for this 12mm ply to sit flush with all plasterboard. That way, when I stick the boards on, there's not going to be any rocking or flapping where the fireplace is. So we were gifted these panels by mdfwarehouse.com, so we're going to leave the link down in the description if you want to check them out. We've had these for a little while, obviously with having the baby and trying to get the rest of the house ready for Christmas. This has been on the back burner, so today we're going to get this wall cladded. So to install these, I'm just going to use some expandable foam as my adhesive on the back because I got no grip fill. I'm just going to put some zigzags on the back, stick her on, get it level, put some pins in, and that should do the trick. We were really impressed by these panels from MDF Warehouse. The quality of them are top notch. The panels are pre-finished and ready to paint any colour you want. Check out the link in the description.
With the bottom bit in, Reese has now just made a shelf and he is gluing and going to pin a little shelf on. So we got somewhere to put like our perfume bottles, jewellery and stuff. And then above there will go our telly.
So now we've ripped our filler pieces. As you can see, there's a groove there, and then we've just got a filler piece there, which is slightly bigger than these slats. But I'm not going to put a groove up the back edge because it'll just look a bit odd. So how I managed to do this is I measured from here to this edge here, and then I divided the gap equally from the side panel to here. So these slats are 50mm. The ones on the right hand side are 37mm. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to route a groove or a rebate on the one edge, so it steps in and it looks exactly the same width as that filler panel, and once it's all painted in, you're not going to notice it. Unfortunately, we did rough measurements and we were short literally by, I'd say, one panel, probably two, but it's no big deal. We got MDF here. I got the router. I'm going to set her up now. I've got it to the right depth. I'm going to set the guide up, and then we just rip it through and get them pinned in. With all the panelling complete and undercoated, it was time to move on to putting in the tracks for the wardrobes. To make sure my tracks were set back at the correct distance, I made a jig out of 18mm MDF and fixed on the wheels. I started off by fixing in the bottom and then worked my way up to the top. We decided to go for the Rothley track system from Screwfix, mainly because it was easily customizable. I could cut the tracks to the right length, and I could also make my doors to any height that I wanted. I had to buy 2 sets of this system, and they were about £80 each, so 160 quid in total. We finally finished up by rearranging the bow axle system. We previously roughly set it out just so we had an idea what it was going to look like, and we made the final adjustments towards the end. We were really glad we went for the bow axle system because it was really cheap and easy to use. We're going to leave it here for this video. Catch up with us in our next video where we start making the wardrobes out of MDF and veneering them with oak. And Natasha goes on the hunt for some Hessian backing to finish the wardrobes. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. We apologise for our absence of videos and appreciate all the comments and views we've been having in the meantime.